Conrad Rogowski is Director of Career Services at the FutureWorks Career Center here in Springfield, and he tells us now is the time, right away, because time is wasting, the clock is ticking, now is the time to start the process if you're interested in some part-time holiday seasonal work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think for a lot of people, sometimes they underestimate the value of the holiday hiring, but they need to go at that just as seriously as they would for any full-time position, because these positions sometimes can lead well beyond the part-time.
And this really is a great time to get in line for that. And a lot of folks might say, oh, it's part-time, it's seasonal, maybe it's just a clerk's job, especially if someone's been in the professional field. And we know a lot of really good, sharp, experienced people are out of work these days or in between and looking. But that's the wrong mindset, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And as I say, we advise folks to do just what they would for a full-time position. And the key words there are preparation and practice. Preparation in as much as you want to look at the advertisement that the employer has put out and match your skills to that. What are their priorities and what do you have in your background that are either exact matches or are what we would call transferable skills that would apply to that in working with people, in working with materials, and working with money, in organizational, all those types of things that sometimes people underestimate in their own backgrounds. So the preparation is very important. Also in investigating the company, find out what their products are, what's their environment like, what kind of people do they hire, and then of course the practice part of it. Again, just looking at if that's the job that you're going to go after, getting down that 30-second that you want to present that says, this is who I am, these are the skills that I'm going to bring and that are going to be a benefit to you as an employer.
It strikes me too, and let me walk through this and then correct me if I'm wrong, that this is a little different job-seeking situation because most of the time it's an applicant for one job that's available perhaps, and maybe there are 20 people just to pull a number, maybe many more than that these days for the job. So the ball is really in the employer's court. This time the employer maybe needs a half a dozen, if it's a bigger company, a dozen or more people for that seasonal work, whether it's retail or production. So the clock is always on the job seeker, but this time the clock's on the employer as well. They need you almost as much as you need them this time around.
Yes, they do. But again, what you come back to is, when you present, what are you going to be able to do for that employer? Because that's what they're looking for. When you consider this time of the year, this is a big time of year for employers as far as making money, quite frankly. And who are they going to be looking for? They're going to be looking for people who present well, who have both the technical skills and the people skills. The technical skills are certainly one part of that, and that may vary from organization to organization. But the people skills and the learning skills that people have, if you walk in with the right attitude, you walk in with an attitude that shows that you are interested in their business, that you're interested in learning and that you can learn, they can teach you that technical part of that. So that's very important to them. And when they look at this time of the year when they're so busy, and it's so important for them to make sales, make a good impression on the customer, who do they want to put out on their front line? What kind of experienced person do I want to have out there talking to my customers, handling my money, handling my product, making sure that things get to where they need to be on time? Those are the types of things that they're going to look for.
And this is a busy, pressured, stressful time on all sides. The person who's coming in has a million and one things to do before the holidays and the gifts and the things they need to do in the place they need to be, just as much as you're saying, this is the company when they get in the black or the red for the year a lot of times.
Absolutely.
So working in stress, if you can work with pressure, that's key, isn't it?
It certainly is. And again, the opportunity to come in on a part-time job and to prove yourself is one thing. But when you're coming in at a critical time of the year, as a lot of these employees are, this is when those employers are going to look at you, because here you are. Number one, you have the opportunity to come in, not only learn the job, but to prove yourself on the job. There you are. You're right there. They're going to see exactly what you can do. And not only just in a regular job situation, but in a high-pressure, high-volume situation that is critical to their business. Now, that may not lead to a full-time position, or it may, but that's your opportunity to prove that. It may be something else that the employer has in mind that keeps you in the back of their minds and says, you know what, so-and-so is in here. They had a great job on that part-time job. Let's call them back. We got a full-time opening coming up. Or maybe there's another part-time opening coming up. And these are all things that you may not know about immediately, but that may be kind of held in the back of the employer's mind.
You know, I was talking to someone about doing this interview, and they related a story to me of their own job seeking a few years back, a woman, and she said to me, you know, I went in for a job, and I thought I was pretty prepared, but I'm not in the job market raising my kids. Yeah. And it seemed to go well, the interview, and at the end, the potential employer said to me, this is going to be a busy, stressful job in a lot of ways. Yeah. Tell me something that's going to tell me you can handle that. And she said, I thought for a minute, and I drew a blank, and then I said, well, I've been managing a household with a husband and 5 kids for the last 10 years. The gentleman said to me, he said, I came from a big family. For anything like my mom, you're going to be great. She got the job.
Absolutely.
There are things you don't think of maybe that are skills that you can use.
Yeah. And again, coming back to the what we talked about earlier about there's the skills part of it, the technical part that they can teach you. But there's also that part which is the environment, and this is where a lot of the interviewing process has changed for a lot of people. And what employers are doing now, they're asking behavioral questions, asking, I'm going to give you a situation. How would you handle that? Or tell me about a situation where you had to do this or that was difficult for you. How did you handle that? What did you learn from that? What did you come away from that experience with that makes you a better employee now? And that's the other thing that potential job seekers need to look at are not, like I say, not only their technical skills, but their behavioral skills, their people skills. Be prepared to answer questions like that where an employer is going to kind of test you and say, are you able to handle what's going to be happening out on my floor? And that doesn't matter whether it's in a warehousing situation, hospitality, or on a retail situation, any of those where their business is critical.
And for a younger person who perhaps isn't looking right now for that full-time job, but the part-time, the seasonal work, but still it's critical for them to get that experience, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And this becomes a little tougher market for the younger job seeker also because of the fact of the downturn in the economy that we've been faced with. You have a lot of more experienced people in the job market, some of whom are ready to take on any kind of position at this point. They may be in a financial situation, or they just want to make sure that they keep their skills sharp, and they go after some of these part-time positions, which does make it a little bit harder for the younger, little less experienced job seeker. Their work history isn't quite as deep, but this is, again, where they need to prepare and think about, okay, what have I done with regard to school? Are there organizations that I participated in? Have I held an office, like a president or vice president of an organization, where I've shown that I can pull people together and organize an event? Are there things that I've volunteered for within the community that I've done? Are there other part-time jobs that I've held? And so they really want to look at their entire background. And again, this is where the transferable skills come in, that they too can present to the employer and say, yeah, I've done some of these things. I've done some customer relation type things. I've handled money in some other situations. I've organized people or I've organized events. Because again, with that little shallower work history, they really need to be sharp.
Well, Conrad Rogowski, Director of Career Services at FutureWorks Career Center in Springfield, thanks for the insights. Thanks for coming in.
Okay, thank you for having me.